If you're new to my channel, welcome. Pleased to have you here. And if you're already a current subscriber, what's up? Let's get started today. I will be doing a Profusion cosmetic demo. Profusion Cosmetics is a company that is based out of Southern California for approximately 20 years. And they basically is a company that is serving multicultural communities. Basically is a company that is trying to reach out to many different diversities in many different countries, and also regardless of your age, your gender, they basically want to support everyone who is in the beauty community basically. So you may be someone who's a beginner, or you may be someone advanced. They want to basically represent you as their company, as someone that they are reaching out to. They are also cruelty free, and you can find them online. I see Profusion Cosmetics in Marshalls. I've seen Profusion Cosmetics in TJ Maxx. Those are the main two stores that I've seen them. But the palette that I will be reviewing today as a first impression and view, I got this palette out of Target. Profusion Cosmetics has recently launched their products to Target. So if you have a Target in your local area, you can go there and check and see they have Profusion in the store. And you can also order Profusion through Target online if you are a regular Target shopper. So I think it's very cool that a lot of the indie brands are starting to launch themselves into Target. I also seen BH Cosmetics, and there's a lot of other different indie brands that are coming to Target, Ulta, and even Sephora. So Profusion Cosmetics has released a ton of goodies for the holiday season, and basically the eye and cheek palette that I'll be talking about today is one of their artistry palette, and there are several. They are very inexpensive. They range anywhere from $4.99 to $13.99, and I just say roughly $13.99 because they do have basically like a gift set called Treasure Box. I call it like a gift set. It's someone that you could give to someone, and it basically has like 40 shadows, and it has like two blushes, one contour shade, possibly a bronzer, and it has like an eyeliner, then it has like a Profusion cosmetic brush, and that's in the Treasure Box. But they have different palettes suitable to your needs if you're just a girl on the go or a guy on the go and you just need a simple palette. They also have those palettes. They're like $6.99, and they basically contain like maybe up to like 12 shadows in those. And I also have a couple of those I will be reviewing periodically on my channel here. But these holiday season palettes are very special, and if you saw, they had a sale over Black Friday. You buy one and get one 50% off. So when I usually go through there, I see them there, but then when they had that Black Friday sale, people almost basically cleared that whole end cap shelf, so a lot of them was gone. And I had a thought, and then all of a sudden disappeared. But basically, the Profusion Cosmetics I've also seen them in Burlington Coat Factory. So basically, you can find Profusion on the ground, especially if you're here in California. You can find them pretty much, hopefully, in most of the stores. And if you have a Marshall and TJ Maxx, like I said, you will find them there also. So the palette I will be talking about today is called the Eye and cheap palette. So this palette costs $9.99 or basically $10. And this is what the palette looks like. So it's a big palette. So it comes with 12 eyeshadows. I want to think 4 blushes and 2 highlights. So the finishes, sorry for the ring light. So basically the finishes are matte, satin, and shimmers. And it's a pretty huge palette. And so when you get it, it's like fully compact. So I really like the packaging. It has that basically mirrored metallic embossed name. If you can see that in the middle of the palette, it's embossed here. I am cheap Profusion. And I like the packaging. But when you open it, I know I had difficulties trying to open it straight from the front of the packaging, so I open it basically on the side here. So I basically pry it open. That's how I get it open. So when you open up the palette, it comes with the cover sheet. You basically have to just pull that off, and I haven't pulled mine off yet. So I'm going to be pulling that off right now. So this is the cover sheet. And then basically you have all your shadows here. And it's a pretty decent size. It comes with a double-ended blending brush and like a shader brush on the 2 ends. So I'll show it to you up close. So it looks like that. And this is what the shadows looks like. So you have the eyeshadows here, and then you have the 2 blushes towards the bottom on each side here and here. And then the 2 highlighters are at the top in both rows. So they're a pretty good size product. The eyeshadows are 0.55 ounces, which equals out to 15.6 grams. The blush is 0.53 ounces, which equals out to 15.2 grams. And the highlighters are 0.27 ounce, which equals out to 7.6 grams. So this product does contain talc for anyone who have talc sensitivity. And that's pretty much it. It's a very minimal listed of ingredients in this palette. It says it's not tested on animals. And again, it's it's cruelty free with a 24-month shelf life for this palette. It basically says, create gorgeous eye and cheek looks to complement your skin tone with this chic and easy to use palette. Choose from richly pigmented eyeshadows and blushes and easy blend matte, satin and shimmer finishes. Silky smooth powder formulas glide on effortlessly for an even distribution of color and a natural looking finish. So basically this brush that I just showed you is considered the Pro Series brush. And if you go to their website, they have pretty much a full face line of products. They don't have foundation, but they do have like the contour, the correct and conceal, bronzer, highlighter. They have the eyeshadow palettes. They have the lips, basically like the lipsticks, the liquid lipsticks. They also have the tools, which are like the brushes, I think blending sponges, so different things like that. and also shadows, you know, possibly eyeliner pencils for your eyebrow area. So we're going to get ahead and get started. I am excited to be using this palette because I see Profusion all the time. And I have Profusion palettes that I'm going to be reviewing on this channel. So again, I'm getting excited because I can't wait to try it. The shimmers are just amazing. They look so beautiful. So I have already done my face pretty much with the foundation, and I'm going to prime my eyelids right now. So since the palette doesn't come with a mirror, I will be using another mirror, preferably my Talc because it's small and it doesn't take up a lot of space in the camera. So I'm going to be using that. I'm going to prime my eyelids with the NYX eyeshadow base and ESB03 skin tone, and this is basically what it looks like. So I'm just going to go ahead and prime my eyelids. And normally I would have had this already done before I started filming, but oh well. You get to watch me prime my eyelids. So we're just going to go ahead and start with the eyeshadows. So, which is interesting about this palette as I'm looking at it right now, it has a neutral side, and then it has more of a smoky, like nighttime side to it. So I'm going to show you. This side here looks like for your everyday neutral look, for your day look. And then this side looks like your evening, night, like for your smoky eye look here. Which I think is really cool because it gives you shadows that you could wear for the daytime, and then they give you shadows that you could wear for the evening, night, but also complementary blushes, and also complementary blushes for the night, and complementary blushes for the daytime. Also highlight for the day and a highlight for night, or you could interchangeably use whatever you prefer to use. So I'm going to go ahead, jump in, and start creating an eye look. And I'm going to be using my Beauties Cosmetics blending brush. And I think I'm going to interchange between, maybe I won't, maybe I'll just stick with a day look. And I thought about should I play in the day and the night shadows, but I probably would just stay in the day eyeshadow look so I can show to you all what they may look like for anyone who is curious and interested. So I'm going to go in with the shade Cookie. So basically it's this shade here. It's this shade right here. And some of the eyeshadows will repeat itself in certain palettes, but not all of them, and some of them are new depending on the palette. So you could just be aware of that. So let's go in with Cookie. And there is a lot of kickback. I got a feeling that this shadow is going to be very pigmented, so you want to tap off your brush before you apply it. So let's start here. And already I like the color. I think it really sits in nicely. So I'm going to go in with some more of Cookie. Starting from the outer crease and move over the crease, upper crease area. So that's the first eye. I'm going to go over to the next eye and do the exact same thing. And I like this shade. It's a nice, like, warm brown tone shadow. So definitely that shade that can warm up your crease area of your transition shade. And the colors do apply nicely. Need to adjust my palette because it was sitting on some brushes. And they build up quite nicely. So you can build these shadows up to your preference, which is, again, a nice touch with this palette. And there are other artistry palettes. There's also a natural palette. There's a sultry palette. And I just love how it comes with a, basically like, almost like a full face in this palette. And I don't know if Profusion makes mascaras. I didn't notice if they do or not. So hopefully that looks really nice. And this color is so pretty. You could just wear this color all over your eyelid if you just want to stay simple with one color. Make sure I add a little bit more on this side to this corner also to match it to the other eye. And I love inexpensive palettes, especially when they perform really well. I think that's so helpful for a lot of us who like to stay on a budget or just prefer to have a set price range on our makeup items or beauty items. So I just finished with Cookie. So now I'm going to go over with another eyelid shade. So I'm going to go in, I think I want to use Love as the next shade. So it's basically this beigey, almost like a creamy beige color here. And it's called Love. So I'm going to use that over my eyelid, preferably like a base. So we're going to, so I basically use that BH Cosmetics. So now I'm going to switch over and I'm just going to try the Profusion eyeshadow Professional Profusion Series brush with the dual end, and I'm going to use this shader side to apply the lid color. I'm going to apply Love. Over as a base shade. But I'm going to go over it with some other colors. So this color pretty much just goes right over into my skin, so you probably won't notice it as much. And there is some, like I said, there's kickbacks, and you can see it on the brush when I'm using this brush. So I'm using the brush to apply on my lids. Then I'm going to use a different brush on my other eye and see if you still get that same kick up or not. It's for blending and a shader brush, because it doesn't look like a concealing brush. And it doesn't look like a smudger, but it picks up a lot of product, so just be aware of that. So I'm basically just laying this down as a base, and I'm going to go in with some shimmer shades. Y'all can see that. Halfway into my eyelid. And just applying it with a brush, it comes off a little bit, just a little bit chunky. So I may want to, I'm going to wet my brush and see how that applies. And if it applies still not the way I want it to, then I will use my fingers to tap on the product. So I want to see how it does wet. So I'm going to spray my brush to dampen it. So I'm going to see how it applies if it's wet. So it applies much better when I wet the brush. But I'm going to experiment on the other eye with my finger and see how it applies. Does it apply better with the finger or with just a wet brush? And the shadow's it's a little bit chunky, as I said before. So you just you gotta use a certain technique to make sure that it's applied on here nicely. So I'm just gonna use patting motions and not rub with the brush, not apply like the rubbing sensation, but just pat it into the eye. So that's what it looks like so far. So now I'm going to go over to the other eye and apply it with my finger and see how it applies. To see if there's any difference. So you all can see here any differences. I think I prefer to wet my brush and apply it versus using my fingers to apply it. So I'm just gonna re-wet my brush. And if your brush get too wet, you just rub it across your skin to kind of dampen it off a little bit, to basically make it damp instead of, or use a tissue and get off some of the excess color. So I'm just gonna go back in with the wet brush and reapply. So it definitely makes a difference on what your technique is when you're applying these shadows, because they could either look chunky or they could look nicely. And with Antique, I think it looks better when you wet the brush once again, but you just want to be careful. There is a shade. You just want to be careful. So I'm going to try to blend that out. So I'm going to try to blend these shades out over my eyes. And once you blend it out, you still notice you will see some of the chunky of the particles from the shimmer in your eyes. So you just want to be careful how you apply that shade. But I'm just going to go back in and apply a little bit more, just to even things out. Try to blend it so it looks nicely and cohesive over each eye. Again, you just probably want to use a tapping motion or blend downward like I'm doing. Sometimes with shadows you have to find different ways to finesse the shadow that it would apply nicely over the lid. I'm just going to do the same thing here. You just don't want to pack too much color on, because again, if the shimmer is pretty thick, it can look very chunky on your eye. Okay, so we're going to go on and apply the next shade, and I'm going to apply Mic Drop, which is that copper brown shade that I showed you. I'm going to re-show it to you again to refresh your memory. So this is Mic Drop, is like that copper brown color there. I'm going to apply that to my outer crease shade. Outer crease. As an outer crease shade. So I'm going to apply it dry just to see how it applies. And if it needs to be wet, then I'm going to wet the brush. So it applies nicely dry, but I want to have that intensity. So I'm going to wet my brush. So tap that off onto my wrist to get rid of some of the excess moisture. Because I like my shimmers, especially if they look like they can be foiled. I like them to look intense on my eyes. But if you're someone who don't like intensity or increase in depth of the shadow, then you just want to apply it dry. If you just want to keep it simple. But I'm going in for the gusto because I love to have intensity with my shadows. So it looks like liquid gold, like a liquid, like a melted penny. Very beautiful. It gives antique a beautiful contrast. Y'all can see that. And I'm going to go back into my crease and reapply Cookie. But I really like the shimmer shades. And I think if you just pat these on also, instead of rubbing on these shimmers, it gives a nice application. And look how it looks, it just glides. And then it just looks like liquid metal on the eyes. So we definitely want to have the outer crease stand out from the rest of the eye. I could have did this whole color as my all over eyelid shade, but I wanted to play with some additional colors so it didn't just look, or just one couple of basic colors. I just want to, especially there's so many colors to play with in this palette, like why stop at one or two shadows when you can get the top to 3 or 4 or 5? If you get them all over your eye, keep going. So I'll go back over here and touch up some additional gold. So that's what it looks like so far. And let me gently go in with Cookie again, which was my transition shade, and go back in. And I really like this matte color light. It's a matte finish, but it is very, in my opinion, very buttery. And it applies so nicely over the eyes. So that's what it looks so far. Then I'm going to go over to this eye, do the same thing. Just a little bit. Then I'm just touching up Not doing too heavy. Gonna go in that area. Gently sweep over the blending brush. Cause I want my contrast to stand out with my shade. And now let's gently blend in the colors on my lid. So that pretty much does it for the eyes. Don't want to get obsessive with the eye area, so we want to keep it moving. Okay, and forgot to use this blending side, but I just get so used to using my own brushes. So any brush that comes in the palette, this is a good brush in my opinion, and I think it's so much better than the sponge tip brushes, which is like a pet peeve for me when I see them in palettes. I'm so glad that they have these types of brushes available, because you can wash these and reuse these. The sponge tip brushes, you gotta dispose of those. They would tear up if you try to rewash them, and I think sponge applicator eyeshadow brushes are meant to get rid of. You can't reuse them most of the time. And so let's go in with my lower lash line. So I think I'm going to go in with a darker color to just give some contrast to the upper portion of my eye look. So I'm going to go in. I think I want to try a dark shade. So we're going to go in on I'm going to call this the Night Shadow palette here. So the Night Shadow palette, I'm going to go in with Tease. So I'm use that in my lower lash line. See how that looks. And it looks like almost looks like a dusty taupe purple shade. But let's see how it looks. And there's a little bit of fallout, so you just want to be careful when you're applying this. Yeah, to me it reminds me of like a taupe, smoky plum. Almost the verge of like a charcoal gray. But it looks like it has some plum, basically some purple undertone to it. So that's what it looks like so far. I really like this as a liner. Again, you just want to be gentle with applying this color. So that's so pretty. And I can see how it could give a nice, smoky, like juicy, dark, mysterious look. If you use this as a nighttime look, it will look so stunning. So let's go over to the next eye. And we're just going to apply it here. And you probably could use this color to line your upper lash line area too, to give it some depth. But I'm just using it as a contrast and almost like an accent shade for my lower lash line, to just kind of give that like pop of color, because everything on top of my lid is more warm, and I'm just going to give a little bit of a cool touch for my lash line area. So I'm just using basically a Beauties Cosmetics angle flat shader brush to apply this, but I'm sure you could apply this with a smudger brush or an angle eyeliner brush. But I just like this brush in particular because I can maneuver the shadow up into my lash line and still smudge it out at the same time. So that's for the lower lash line. So far I really like this look. I think it's really, really cool. Trying to see if I put shadow on my hair. So it very gives that mysterious type of feel to it without going overboard. But as a nighttime look, ooh, watch out. I can see that as a nice smoky color. So let's go in. I think I'm pretty much done with the eyes. I was gonna do an inner corner highlight for the tear duct area, but I think I'm just gonna leave that alone, and maybe I'll bring some of that antique gold down a little bit further, and maybe we'll just leave that as the accent color for my inner corner highlight for my eyes. So I'm going to wet my brush. So far, you all, I'm very impressed. I really like this palette. This is definitely a on-the-go, day-to-day eye look face palette for your looks. I really like this. So again, I'm going to go in with some antique. Just apply a little bit more in the inner corner. Bring it down just a little bit right here. Hope y'all can see that. So just bring it just a little bit here. Then go over to this eye, just a little bit. And these colors blend in really well with each other too. Like, it's hard when you get a palette and the colors don't play together very well with each other, and then you're having to go over and re-layer a different color with it because it's not playing, doesn't want to play together well. So, okay, so I think I'm pretty much done with my eyes. I really like it. I think it's very stunning. I love cookie that transition shade is just so, it's so stunning. So I'm just going to clean that up with my finger right here to get off any excess. It's just a very beautiful shade. And I'm just going to touch up and get a little bit anal with my eyeshadows. I like everything to look very cohesive and together. So just go in just a little bit, touch it up, just a little bit in that area. Not too much. And I think that's the beauty of shadows. You can go back in, kind of touch it up a little bit, so everything is cohesive. But that cookie is perfect. I really like the shimmers too, but the matte is just, it really speaking to me, and it's not going to be quiet because it is killing it. So I really like the matte in this palette. So let's apply mascara, because last time I was filming for my last demo and I forgot mascara, and I do not like to forget my mascara, because even though I can roll without the mascara and still pull off this look, I like to give a little pop, a pizzazz, a little bit, you know, attitude to my lashes. So I'm going to go in with my tried and true Maybelline, the Falsies Push Up Angel. So we're going to go in and apply this. And I really like the Maybelline, these type of mascaras, again, because they have a comb applicator tip, so you can just comb your lashes with them. So I think this was a stunning idea by Maybelline to create a brush that will comb the eyelash hair. Oh. You gotta be careful not to blink either. I just did a boo-boo by blinking my eyes. Yes. Everybody need them lashes to be lit. You cannot have lashes not lit. They gotta be fire. And I love that this comb can get into, just bump my nose. Ooh, bump my nose and then I'm bumping my hair. Good Lord, get it together, girl. So, again, with the comb, I like that it gets into those hairs. Those little tiny hairs that you may have a hard time reaching with a regular fat mascara brush wand. With this comb, you can just comb out those hairs. But then you want to wait that they dry and not smudge to your, especially if you have long lashes, you don't want them to bounce against your skin. So when you blink your eyes, you don't want it to touch the skin underneath it. So far I'm really digging it. So let's go play with the blush it's time for the blush. So I think, see, the Great Blush here looks more like a mauvey pink, and it looks like it's more shimmery. So I'm going to use that anyway because I think it's more, I wanted to go with this baby pink here, but it may be a little bit too light. Let's just go in with Great Blush and see how that looks with this look, because I want everything to flow well. So I'm just going to use a angled blush brush by e.l.f. And I like the angled brushes because it goes right up into your chisel cheeks, help chisel your cheeks area. So again, you want to tap off your brush, go in. See, that's very pigmented, so it'll be very gentle, because just that one sweep, there was a lot of color. Sitting here licking my lips and notice my lip needed some oil or something on it. So that's the brush there. So that's what the blush looks like. Hopefully you all can see that. And so I think I'm going to add just a little bit more. Just a little bit more to this side. So that is the Great Blush. And I really like this because even though it's a little bit intense, it's not like overpowering of the face. I think it does give us that nice flush of color there. And let's go in with a highlight. So for the highlight, I think I'm going to keep it on the day look. So I'm going to go over here and use the diamonds. So basically that blush I just applied to, I call it the Great Blush. So that is the name. So it's basically the blush is called Great. So now I'm going to go in with a highlight called Diamonds. So it's basically this shade here. So it's like a, almost like a champagne gold type shade. So I'm going to use my e.l.f. taper, like a tapered dome brush to apply this highlight. And gently, don't want it to be too intense. So let's see. The highlight is there. So sometimes when the highlight is too intense for me, I'll go back in with my finger and I'll try to dull it down a little bit. But the highlight is definitely there. And it definitely gives like a nice contrast with the blush without looking too overly done. That's what it looks like. It's very pretty. And I think very suitable for a daytime look. If you're going to be wearing like a highlight to your job or for a meeting or an event, it's definitely. And your brush is going to pick up, is going to determine how much gets picked up. But it's definitely a nice blush. I say blush, sorry. A nice highlight. You can see that. It looks very intense on the viewfinder. Put some a little bit across the nose. I think I'm going to go and highlight. I usually don't eyebrow highlight. I usually don't, again, touch my eyebrows at all. But I'm just curious to see how that would look as a highlight. And since I don't hardly do this, hopefully I'm doing it right, because I usually don't do this at all. So hopefully I'm doing it okay. So it looks really pretty as a eyebrow highlight. So it's really pretty. And I'm basically just using my e.l.f. small angle brush. So this is what it looks like with a tiny little angle brush tip, which I think is perfect for lining your eyelids. I'm just getting so tongue twisted. Basically to line your lower lash line, your upper lash line, and also your eyebrow area, even as your eyebrow brush, I would say, to apply product in that area. So I think that's really, I'm just really experimenting and playing with these shadows. So yeah, that's really pretty as a highlight, as a eyebrow highlight. So we pretty much have used everything in the eye and cheek palette. And again, this is an 18 color eye and cheek makeup palette and brush set, which is $9.99 at Target or $10 on the Profusion Cosmetics.com website. And I did purchase this palette with my own money. And I'm going to go in now for the lips. So I saw this lip kit that comes with 3 types of lip products, and it's in cocoa, because this is what the packaging looks like. So you get a metallic lip, a lip liner, and also the liquid lipstick shade itself here. So there's a part of me that wants to go all voom and go with the metallic, but I think I'm just gonna stay a good girl and just stay with the neutral. I have not opened up the packaging at all, so it's sealed, as you see at the top and the bottom, and on the back it shows you how to line your lips and stuff like that. I don't really line my lips, to be honest, when I apply liquid lipstick, lip gloss, anything related to lipstick. I don't line my lips with anything like that. And sometimes I do use lip liners as a full lip product, which we could play with and do that today instead of just applying a lip color. So let's do that. Let's play. Let's have a little bit of fun. So this is the Profusion Matte Lip Liner in Cocoa Charm. So this is what it looks like. And basically it's like a little pointy tip. So I'm just going to apply this as a regular lip all over my lip shade. And it smells like cocoa. It smells like hot chocolate. Oh, I'm getting excited. It smells like hot cocoa. And there's 2 other lip kits. There's a nude one, and there's another color that I can't think off the top of my head. I apologize if my lips were looking mighty ashy up in this video. How dare me to do such a thing. This is actually pretty. You could just wear it by itself. And it smells so good. I just want to lick the liner. And it is a matte. And it perfectly lines the lip. Like, this is really good. I know my lips were probably looking a hot mess while I was making this video. So that's pretty much what it looks like. You can see some of my pigmentation underneath the color, or any pigmentation that may be in your lips naturally, like if it's darker in some area. I really like this, especially if you just want to wear this as a day look and you don't want to look too intense, but you just want to have that pop of color to your lips. This is perfect. It's creamy, and you can blend your lips together. So I think that's really pretty, and I love that it smells like hot cocoa. I'm like really into the seasonal spirit. I had hot cocoa last night at Starbucks, and I love the hot cocoa at Starbucks. Like hot chocolates, if you are a hot chocolate person, Starbucks makes amazing hot chocolate, and I get it with whipped cream in it. And then I get my brownie on the side because I love those chocolate brownies that they sell. Also, it is a retractable eyeliner, so you twist up so you can retwist it. And I like that because I don't always like to sharpen eyeliners, like whether it's for the eyes or whether they for the lips. I don't always like to sharpen, so I like that this is retractable. Perfect Profusion. I really like that. That's really cool. So I'm letting you all see what it looks like as it is without any other liquid on top of it. This is just, again, the eyeliner. Not the eyeliner, sorry. This is just a lip liner itself by itself, so you get to see exactly what it looks like. And I think it's stunning. It's that perfect touch, especially if you're a girl who loves lip liners and that's all you wear, and you don't wear anything else like lip glosses or liquid lipsticks or regular lipstick. This is perfect for you. And I think this, I want to think I paid, I think this kit is, I want to think it's $9.99 too. Yes, I want to think is it $9.99 or $5.99? Whichever the price is, you know I'm going to leave it in the description box for you anyway. But I want to think it was like $5.99. I don't think it's $9.99. But I could be mistaken. So I'm going to go in and apply the matte lip cream on top of it. So this is what it looks like. So a nice cocoa brown shade. Does it smell like hot cocoa too? Please let it smell like it. It doesn't. It doesn't smell like hot cocoa, but the lip liner does, like for sure. It smells like hot cocoa. So I just want to show you all what it looks like to layer the lip cream, the matte liquid lipstick over the liner. And usually I don't do this either. I don't fill my lips in with the liner before I go in with the liquid lipstick. So this is what you all are getting. I can show you all the difference. So I don't think it's a bad thing to line your lips and fill your lips in with a liner, especially with a liquid lipstick, because sometimes the colors will come off, especially if you're eating or drinking something. You sometimes just having a lip liner filling it in buffers, the complete color coming off. But I think that lip liner and the liquid matte lipstick looks really good together. So yes. So I'm pretty much done with the look. So now for my final thoughts. I really like this palette. I think it's affordable, which is a good Pro. It's affordable, has really good mattes in this palette. As far I can say from the mattes that I've tried today, in my transition, as my transition shade, and also for my lower lash line, those were the mattes. Stunning. I really like it. It's very pretty. And the shimmers, I like them. I think Mic Drop more than I do the Antique shimmer shade, which is up in here and in my inner corner highlight and tear duct area. But I really like the Mic Drop. Is that nice like copper brown shade, and I applied it wet, which I think you can do it dry or wet for these shimmers, but I think it applies better wet. So I did not use any Fix Plus if you're curious. I just basically use the Pearlescence Coconut Water Hydrating Face Mist that I picked up at TJ Maxx for $6.99, and this is what the packaging looks like if you're curious. So that's what I wet my brush with. So I really like the shadows in here. I really like the blush. The blush does give that nice pop of color, and it doesn't go too like intense. And you can build it up if you are someone who likes to wear intensity within your blushes. You could definitely build it up. But with blush, for me personally, I like to keep it on the softer end. I want it noticeable, but not too overly noticeable. And I like the highlight. The highlight gives a nice pop of shimmer to it. It definitely has that glow. Looks really nice. And I think this is a shade that will look good on most skin tones. And I think the heartfelt highlight that is in this palette looks like it may be like a rosy peach gold type shade. I did use the diamonds, the highlight in my eyebrow area to highlight my eyebrow region. I don't usually do that, but I think that was really cool because I don't usually mess with my brows at all. I keep it like it is. And I'm really impressed with the palette overall. I think I really like it. The packaging is, I think, really nice. It's large, it's big. If you're going to travel with it, I think you could take it with you. It's a little bit heavy, but it's not like overly heavy. But the packaging, you just want to be careful because I think the cover could shatter if you drop it. This can crack. The back part can crack. So you just want to be careful with that. And in terms of the lip products, I really love that lip liner. The fact that it smells like hot cocoa, yes, I'm living for it. And I think it's a really nice lip liner if you just want to keep it simple. You don't want to add any liquid lipstick or regular lipstick or lip gloss. I think that lip liner does play well with the matte lip cream that is in this lip trio kit. There's a little bit of, when I put my lips together, there's a little bit of stickiness that I noticed, but it's not anything that will basically kill my vibe. Like I'm really feeling this lip trio. And I haven't used the metallic, but I'm assuming the metallic is going to be just as phenomenal as the lip liner and the matte lip cream. So I really like it. I think this is a nice palette to have in your collection. I'm not very picky with palettes or highlighters or anything like that. I think it is something that is worth noting because a lot of time we see brands in the stores, and because if it's inexpensive, we just assume that it's not good quality, which is not true. There are really good quality, lower price makeup companies out there. They want to make it affordable for those in their pockets, so we don't be dropping too many coins on one item. And with this price, you can probably buy several different items from the Profusion Cosmetics holiday season, or their regular permanent items that they have on their website. Or if you're in TJ Maxx or Marshalls, you can be also picking up a few things that you see there. But definitely, I love the packaging with this holiday season, and I think this is a packaging that Profusion Cosmetics should continue to have for the rest of their products that will be launching even into 2018 or 2018, however you all want to say it. To keep this packaging and keep everything like it is really, in my opinion, it gets an A+ in my book. I really like it. And I will only give it a little bit of points off for those shimmer shades, but they're not anything to cry over. It still works very well, and I love the matte shadows in this palette. Profusion Cosmetics, if you were to come out with a full matte shadow palette, I would be buying it. It would be in my possession. And this is a great eye and cheek palette to give somebody also, not just to have it in your own personal vanity, but it'll make a perfect like seasonal Christmas gift, birthday gift, anniversary gift, just a gift in general. I would recommend it. It's really nice. And with that said, I really enjoyed putting this look together. I felt so excited, and I have others that I will be reviewing coming up in a couple of weeks or even to early New Year, because I want to kind of spread them out. But the ones that are for the holiday season, I want to make sure I film those, so if those who are curious and may want to purchase, so you all can kind of get an idea about the palettes and the lips and the the only thing I don't have is the contour and highlight or the blushes, the full blush palette. They have so much with this line, you won't go wrong. And like I said, if you feel a little bit kind of shook and you be like, well, I may want to slow this down a bit, I don't want to overdo it, maybe buy one or two items. Buy an eyeshadow palette and buy a blush palette just to see how you like either or just simply get the $9.99 palette here from Target, so that way you have the eyeshadows and the blushes and the highlights that you can play with it. So I really like this combination that Profusion Cosmetics put together, so that way you can play with everything. And if you, especially because it could be a little bit more money if you piece out the different items together. So that's just my opinion. So again, thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully I gave those who watch this video some ideas, some thoughts about the Profusion Cosmetic line. This is the first time I've tried it, and I am pretty psyched to be trying the other things that I have in my possession. So stay tuned to that, and always have a blessed day. Take care of everybody. Take care of yourself. Love everybody out there. We need more love in this world. So always look after other people. Look after yourself. And continue to spread good cheer. We need it for 2018. All right. Much blessings. Thank you. Bye.